two. We'll pack our bags and quit our jobs and have a holiday for two. Boop-a-doop, boop-a-doo, boop. Hey everybody, good morning. It's Dave here. Hope you're all having a good day. If you've been watching my videos, you probably know what I call this. This is my camper cleanup day. I come out here on a Saturday or Sunday morning, and then I have my cup of coffee. And then I spend an hour or so just cleaning up the camper, fixing things that need to be fixed or whatever, making sure we have enough things stocked for the next camping trip. And while I'm sitting here, I'm looking at my email. Some of you probably do this, right? My goodness, I have so much junk email that comes in. I'm looking at all these emails. And so you get on your email and you click unsubscribe. The next thing you know, you get 3 new emails coming in. It's crazy. And so most of the things I just delete. Because out of 50 emails I get every day, there's probably one important one, and then there's a couple that are not unimportant, but I do watch them. And I've been getting some of these emails from RV things, so I do watch those. But one caught my eye the other day. I was reading through some of these emails, like I get ones from RV Life, and then I also get some from Amazon, of course. They want to sell me a new Jackery 1500 generator. You know, I've been tempted to look for one of those. And the Jackeries, I really hear good things about them. I have a small one. It's not a Jackery, but I do have a small battery that's a 350 watt. And I use it when we're boondocking. But it's not a Jackery. And I've been looking at the Jackeries, and oh my goodness, the 1000 Jackery runs about $999, and then the $1,500, or the 15 watt, the 1500 watt Jackery runs about $1,500. And I thought, you know, it'd really be nice to have one of those when we go boondocking. But my goodness, even at the price of gas right now, I could put a lot of gas into my tank and run my generator on $1,500. So I don't know, I'm still thinking about it. I think I'm gonna wait on one of those, even though it's very tempting. But one email did catch my eye the other day when I was looking through this, and it was just a couple of days ago, and it was from RV Life. And the headline says, gas prices are rising, will it be too expensive to RV? And I saw that and I thought, oh my goodness, you know, I'm sure right now everybody's thinking the same thing. I do use my Fry's gas card when I fill up the motorhome. And I took this up a couple days ago, about a week ago, and I took this and filled it up. And I got gas for about $3.15 a gallon. So that was 75 cents off on the gas. So when I use my Fry's card, if I get enough points, I get 75 cents a gallon off. And that is great, because I filled this up at $3.15 a gallon. And I think the price at the time was like $3.95 a gallon or something at the time, or $3.85 at the time, somewhere around there. But it came out to about $3.15 or $3.20 a gallon, and I filled this up. But you know, I read these, and the first thing I think about when I read these stories about gas prices and stuff, and this one says, gas prices are rising. Will it be too expensive to RV this summer? So I got my attention. I wanted to go and check out the article. They also have other interesting articles in here about the best heater for your RV if you're boondocking. So I do like to check out some of these articles and find out different information and stuff. When I'm camping, if it's cold, I use the Little Buddy heater, and I only use it for maybe an hour before we go to bed. And then in the morning when I wake up, I'll kick it on for an hour, and then I'll kick on the house heater, the RV heater. And we don't go camping when it's like 30 degrees or less, but we've been camping where it's 30, 35 degrees out. And you get up in the morning and it's like, brr, you know, you're cold, you're grabbing your hoodies and your sweatshirts. And the first thing I'll do is I'll kick on the house heater, and then I'll kick on the Little Buddy. And within about an hour, I have this thing warmed up to 65 degrees, 60, 65 degrees, and it feels perfect. And so I shut it off. After that, I shut the little buddy off, turn off the house heater, and we're good. Once it starts warming up in the daytime, I'm fine. You know, it's just that first thing getting up in the morning when you're freaking cold and you're reaching for the heater and stuff. But anyway, getting back to this article, it had some tips. Let's see if I can find it. Here you go. Gas prices rising. So I wanted to see what things they would say about gas prices going up. And my first thought when I saw that, a couple things flashed through my mind. You know, I've been alive long enough now. It sounds like I'm old or something, but, you know, I've been alive long enough now where I've seen gas prices go up. I've seen gas prices go down. I've seen gas prices go up. I've seen gas prices go down. I remember years ago, my mom worrying when they had a motorhome about gas going to $2 a gallon. And she was freaking out about that. I remember that. And she was worried that gas would go to $2 a gallon. And it's like, now, you know, we'd say, well, $2 a gallon. Fill her up, baby, right? I'd take $2 a gallon right now. That'd be great. So, you know, it's all kind of relative as history goes, as how gas prices go. And I know it's going up, and it's a little painful when you just don't look at I just don't look at the gas prices anymore. I just stick the card in there and I fill it up, and I know it's going to cost money, but you just have to kind of mentally deal with that in ways. But my first thought was, gas prices are not going to stop me from camping. What am I going to do differently? And I want to see what they say on their article here. So I'm looking at their article. And it's funny because a lot of the things they said here are the things that go through my mind. Ways to avoid high gas prices. Use your gas cards. Costco, Sam's Club. Go at times, though, where the lines aren't a freaking mile long. Some family of mine that were with us camping, Billy and BJ, my mother-in-law, they took their motorhome and went to Sam's Club, and they had to wait in a long line to get gas. So you might want to pick and choose the time of day when you go to Sam's Club or Costco, because there are certain times where the lines at Costco will be long. But I went to Fry's and used the Fry's gas card at Fry's gas station, and there was no line at all. And I got 75 cents a gallon off using my Fry's card. And all I really need to do is go in and buy groceries once a week or twice a week to get that fuel point. So it's well worth it. But the things they said here are the first things that kind of came through my mind too. And I'll just go through the list here. The one thing that came to my mind first was camp closer to home. And I think this summer we're going to do that. We're going to just do a 2 or 3 week road trip through Arizona. We're probably not going to go out of state. I thought about that at first, of going to New Mexico and doing some sightseeing this summer and going up through Albuquerque, and going up from Las Cruces up to Albuquerque. I'd love to go that way, see the white sands. But maybe we'll do that. Maybe we'll just put it off to another season. But we're going to definitely camp closer to home and boondock. Boondocking is the way we're going to go this summer. So we're going to do a lot of boondocking. But here's what they say, and these are all good ideas, and they all work to help. Keep your tires at pressure. Keep your RV and tow vehicle tires inflated. Maintain your vehicle. Oil changes. I change the oil on this every year at the same time, even if it only has 4,000 miles on it. And I take it in and have the oil change on it. And I'm going to continue to do that because I believe in oil changes. And only has 25. This is a GMC. It's a 6.0 in here. It's the Duramax Chevy. And it's only got 25,000 miles on it. And I just make sure I keep the oil. I check the oil and keep the oil changes done regularly and all the maintenance on it. And so I think that's one good idea right there. Keep up with your maintenance. It will help with your fuel economy. Air filters, yep, did that. Wind deflectors, I don't have any wind deflectors on this baby. It might help. This is like a big, this thing's driving this thing down the road. You're like in a big wind block anyway when you drive this thing down the road. So the one thing I do that does help is I keep my speed around 60, 65. I see guys driving down the road 75, 80 miles an hour with the big toy haulers and stuff, and I just let them pass me. I'm towing, maybe I'm towing the Razor, or I'm towing the Jeep behind me, but I keep it at 65, set the cruise control, and I get about 10 or 11 miles per gallon in this thing on a good flat run. Like between a Phoenix and Quartzsite, I get about 11. I think that was my average. 11 miles per gallon, and I'm running at 65 miles an hour on cruise control. So I think that's pretty good for this. I know we had an older Bounder years ago, and it would get 9.5, but it had the 454 engine in it, and I think I got about 9.5 on a good day, and I did not like that engine in there. It always overheated. Even when I did everything to it to try and keep it from overheating, it would go up a hill, and it was just dog. It was the 454 Chevy. It was an 87 Bounder, and that thing just would not get up a hill when it was warmed up. If it was cold, if it had just started up and I was going right up the hill on a cold engine, just starting it up, it would do fine. But the moment it got warmed up and got up to temperature, it would just die. And I don't know if it was the fuel pump, spark plug cable. Anyway, I had all those problems with that, and I've got rid of that a long time ago. Put less weight in your RV. Ha! Right. Yeah. Oh, well, you could try that. That might help. Wind deflectors. Maintenance. I think the best thing, though, is check your tires. On this one, I keep my front tires about 65 pounds. I use a tire pressure monitor system so I can see how they're doing. I run them about 62 to 65 because I know when the tires heat up, especially in Arizona, when the tires heat up, the pressure goes up. And anybody who's lived in Arizona for a while knows that the heat is bad on tires. If you're from Arizona and you drive through Arizona, especially in the summertime, you want to check your tire pressures and keep an eye on those, because the heat will cause the pressure to go up. And so if you put 80 pounds in those front tires, that's what it sometimes calls for, 70 or 80 pounds. Some people do that. You're gonna run the risk of a blowout, because you're gonna really, when those tires heat up, you can have a risk of a blowout. So I always run them a little lower in the summertime, 60, because I know they'll heat up to 60, 70, 72 in no time. They'll be 72, 70 pounds on those. I'll see the tire pressure monitor tell me that. So keep your tires inflated. Front tires, back tires, I run those at 65, just like the front. The little thing on the door calls for 80 pounds per tire. And I, for the life of me, can't see putting 80 pounds of tire in the back 4 tires. That, to me, when I get up to 70 or 75, it just feels like I'm in a truck. And I don't want to run. It's the same thing on the front tires. I don't want to risk a blowout on the back tires. And they're all new, fairly new tires, so I run them about 65. And when we're in the summertime and they heat up, then again they go up to 70 pounds for each tire, which is about right. The ride is good. And the gas mileage, well, I get about 11 miles per gallon on a straight run between like here and Yuma or Quartzsite. So I'm pretty good. If you're climbing a hill, it's a little different when we're climbing the mountains, going up to like Flagstaff or Blue Ridge. And so I think the best tips that I can find from this article: camp close to home, check your tires, keep your vehicle maintained, and boondock. I'm going to try this summer to resist the urge to do some campground camping, just to save some money there. There are so many places to boondock in Arizona. It's crazy. That's one of the things about Arizona that I really love, is there's so much BLM land, state trust land, and dispersed camping up in the mountains where you can go camp and not have to pay campground fees. There are some campgrounds that we do go to, only because it's really the only way to go there. And next week we're going to be going to Lake Pleasant, and I did reserve a campground at Desert Tortoise Campground near Lake Pleasant, and I'll probably do a video on that coming up. And we're going to take the boat, and honestly it's only $20 a night. There's no no power hookups at Desert Tour, just the lower scoot where we're going to be. But I do like it because you're right at water level. And so we're going to have the boat right at water level, and it's really nice. So anyway, these magazines that they get on email, I really like them. I like to look through them. There's good, helpful tips. Of all the 50 junk emails that I get, once in a while I do get those, and I do keep them. I think there's a couple other ones. RV Life is one I get. I like that one. They have some good tips. And there's a couple other ones too. I've been seeing them. One just came in. Let's RV. This is one called Let's RV. And this has an article about the tire pressure monitoring system. And I have one of those that I use. I should do a review of it. I've had it for about 1.5 years. But I really like a tire pressure monitoring system. But anyway, let me show you the vacuum that I got, that I cleaned my motorhome with right here. Let me show you. This is, I don't know if you can see that. It's called an Orfeld. And I got this on Amazon about 1.5 years ago. And it all breaks down. So this top part actually comes apart. So you set it aside here. I don't want to knock it over. This top part separates from the pole in the middle. And this part actually separates from the bottom too. So if you wanted to take this with you in your RV, you can separate it all. And this little canister right there, this little canister on the bottom, this comes off. And then all you have to do is dump that about once. Oh, when you get through running it in the house, or I use this in the house, on the floor, in the kitchen. But I come out here and it just gets everywhere. I really like it. It just gets underneath the table. I can run it around in the front where I drive and everything. And so it's really handy that way. So anyway, getting ready to go this next weekend. We're going to go to Lake Pleasant in about a week. So I'm getting ready to go to Lake Pleasant. And it had an interesting thing happen. I don't know if I told a video about that, but it was with my refrigerator. I haven't... the refrigerator that I have in here is a Dometic 2-way. And I'm going to see if it does it again. If I let it sit, if I let the motorhome sit here for a week or 2, week and a half, between uses, and come out here and I start up the refrigerator, sometimes it doesn't want to run. It's done this twice, where I plug it in, turn on the fridge, come out an hour later or 2, and it's nothing at all. I'm like, what the heck? It did this twice before, and so I do go check all the fuses, go outside, check the fuse outside, check to make sure it's plugged in, make sure the fuse is good down there. Everything was fine. And so I read a post in one of those online forums about the Dometic 2-way. And this is a 2017, 2018 model Coachman, and has the Dometic 2-way, which there's the 2-way and there's the 3-way. This is the 2-way, so you can run on the propane, or you can run on AC. And so there isn't really a whole lot to them to go bad. I mean, yeah, you can lose a fuse, or a fuse down there in the inside cabin, or there's a fuse also outside that you can check. There's also a reset switch outside. So one of these days I'll have to show you that. But if you look at Dometic 2-way fridges online on YouTube, you'll see some posts that people have made about the reset switch. So here's the weird thing. I saw this little post about camper. You need to move your camper around a little bit and it will start running. Somebody had the same exact issue, moved their camper a little bit, took it to the RV dealer, and it moved around a little bit, and then took it to the dealer and they checked it, and it was working fine. And then another person said, yeah, if I just move it a little bit and then it'll start. So I did that. I took the motorhome, started it up, backed it up into the street, backed it up into where I park it, and shut it all down, plugged it in again, and you know what? It started working. So just the movement and shaking of the vehicle did something to the lines of it has ammonia, some kind of ammonia there, that liquid ammonia that they use to power these things. And it started working. So it did something just to shake it up a little bit, plugged it in, and it started working fine. So if you have one of those Dometic 2-ways and you get in and that happens to you, where it doesn't start running right away, just if you're in a trailer, I guess just hook it up and jiggle it around, or take it around the block and bring it back, park it, and see if it doesn't start working. And that's what I did. It's just, so I just moved the motorhome around and drove it into the street and backed it back up again. And it was just enough shaking motion to get everything to work again. So weird, these things sometimes. So it wasn't a fuse, wasn't the circuit board, just something in the lines, in the lines of ammonia gas in those. I guess they're little lines, and sometimes when they settle, it gets like a vapor lock in those lines. So just shaking the motion of shaking everything around kind of loosens it up and gets it working again. So I don't know, if you have a Dometic two-way and it ever does that to you, try that before you start panicking. Anyway, it's Dave here, and our next trip will be Lake Pleasant. I'll be showing you that one. I hope you have a great day. And again, it's really kind of cool to watch the subscriber numbers go up. I appreciate that. If you ever have any suggestions of campsites that I should check out in Arizona, well, let me know. I know somebody suggested Saddle Mountain to me, and we had a blast out at Saddle Mountain. And I've never been there. Never been there. I've been a lot of other places. The Boulders, Lake Pleasant, Table Mesa Road, Gold Canyon. There's other places that are maybe a little bit farther that I'd like to try, but Saddle Mountain was really just a short drive. It was a 55-mile drive, an hour away. And then the other place that we go to, Vulture Peak, Vulture Mountain recreation area, we've been up there. That's about an hour's drive away, and it's very close and a lot of fun and very relaxing. Anyway, so have a great day, and hope you enjoy watching these videos that I put on here, and safe travels wherever you go. Have a great day. Bye.